Wildlife management simply asks for land and the chance to show that farm, forest, and wildlife can be grown on it to the mutual advantage of the landowner and the public. Conservationist Aldo Leopold once expressed that about the outdoors, the importance of conserving wildlife and the wilderness. He was not alone in those beliefs. The citizens of Florida share that view. Hunters, anglers, recreationists, people who love the outdoors. The Florida Game and Freshwater Fish Commission was created with that in mind, to manage and conserve the state's abundance of resources.
Our purpose is to be good stewards of Florida's fish and wildlife. As a spin-off of that, we also want people to have the chance to enjoy Florida's outdoors to the absolute fullest.
The GFC was created in 1943 as a constitutional agency. Its purpose then, to care for Florida's wildlife and freshwater fish. And in its first years, the GFC dealt primarily with game species, such as white-tailed deer. A half-century later, much has changed in Florida, as have the responsibilities of the GFC. Today, the agency must care for endangered and threatened species. We must preserve the habitats of wildlife and fish. Above all, we must balance the needs of Florida's resources while providing for public enjoyment.
And our special job at the Commission is to provide leadership and expertise on subjects that have to do with Florida's native fish and wildlife. We're trying to conserve the whole range of species in Florida, all the way from the species that people love to watch over to the species that are harvested both commercially and recreationally.
Over 5 decades, some of our duties have remained the same. We still enforce the law on wildlife management areas and lakes, rivers, and streams. We still keep track of the state's game and freshwater fish species. And we still administer hunting and fishing licenses. But did you know the GFC created a new fish so anglers could have more to catch? And how about our program to help the bald eagle, once endangered, but making a comeback? We also employ some of the best law enforcement officers on 4 legs. Our canine program is considered a model for others. There are hundreds of GFC programs that affect everyone, from wild turkey management to kids fishing. But they all have one purpose, to provide for the citizens of Florida. The commitment to Florida's future begins at the top of the GFC with the commissioners who oversee all agency decisions.
During my lifetime, I have served on many organizations, and the ones I've gotten the most pleasure out of and admire the most is the Florida Game and Freshwater Fish Commission and the Metropolitan Opera. Both organizations have loyal, dedicated staff and personnel, proud to be a part of them.
Mrs. Gilbert Humphrey is a 3-term commissioner for the GFC. She and the other commissioners work hand in hand with the executive director and 6 other divisions and offices.
The commissioners here at GFC are just part of a diverse staff. We work together to make the correct decisions to protect hunting, fishing, wildlife, and the outdoors.
The commissioners are just part of the team at the GFC. Our largest department is the Division of Law Enforcement, which employs more than 400 people.
There's just so many aspects that there's no way to describe, just what a good feeling it is. And there's always a sense of accomplishment when you...
Scott Runkle is a 15-year veteran of the GFC, and his commitment to the goals of the agency is stronger than ever.
There's nothing like it. It was a dream that I had when I was going to high school, and I followed through on it.
Scott Runkle's passion is shared by many within the GFC, and most importantly, by the citizens of Florida. Conserve the things that make our state so special and ensure that people enjoy them now and in the future.
I've got 2 young boys that I'm raising, my kids, and they enjoy hunting, and I feel like I'm doing something to help them and all the other young kids out there that enjoy the outdoors.
Monitoring public lands is just part of our law enforcement job. We also patrol fresh water to help anglers. Our boating safety program prevents accidents and saves lives. We inspect exotic fish and animals entering or leaving the state. And our aviation section helps with surveys, controlled burnings, and search efforts. Our most popular officers might be a bit furry. These canines are called on in emergencies, whether they're sniffing out violators or finding lost kids. They're also the greatest goodwill ambassadors in the world.
You got a big dog? Okay.
Our law enforcement division also oversees our hunter education program.
Close the cylinder up, just like I said.
Since it began in 1957, our Hunter Ed course has taught safety to 250,000 people, many of them women learning outdoor skills for the first time. Our Becoming an Outdoors Woman program has quickly become one of our most popular.
Ear length is 9.1, that's the left ear.
Saving the Florida panther is one of the goals of our Division of Wildlife. Helping the native cats survive could also help man survive the future.
Panther habitat also is people habitat in Florida. It's where our clean air comes from. It's where our freshwater recharge occurs. So ultimately, panther recovery is essential to maintain our own quality of life in Florida for humans.
Our Wildlife Division manages 5 million acres of public land, which is used for hunting, fishing, and other recreation. The GFC also keeps track of more than 1 million alligators in the state, controlling the population. And wildlife biologists are on the cutting edge of animal research, from trying to restore endangered species like whooping cranes to looking for answers on why quail populations are declining, and keeping track of populations like the Osceola turkey, native to Florida and one of the most popular game species in the world. They also watch over white-tailed deer, hogs, ducks, doves, plus other animals and waterfowl that make Florida a popular hunting spot. That popularity also means we have to manage the hunters. Wildlife administrators oversee regular hunts plus quota hunts for deer, turkey, alligators, and other popular species. More than 170,000 hunters search for game in Florida each year, and the GFC provides a service to each one. People like Michael Hill in our Fisheries Division are dedicated to making sure Floridians enjoy the sport no matter what their age.
And we're hoping it'll start a lot of kids from, enjoying the outdoor experience, and, whether they catch a fish or not, at least they'll be glad that they're outside, and, the parents are real happy to have places like this that they can take their kids and let them try to catch a fish.
The GFC oversees 3 million acres of freshwater lakes and 12,000 miles of rivers and streams. We enhance many freshwater fishing spots with the latest technology, like these fish attractors. They give anglers another great spot to catch that big one. The GFC also coordinates urban pond programs and kids' fishing days to make sure everyone has a chance to enjoy the sport, and even builds boat ramps to give the public better access to the water. Our Office of Environmental Services is also helping build a better way to protect Florida's wildlife. It's taking part in this innovative program that lets several endangered species steer clear of deadly traffic by giving animals a path to safely cross busy highways. OES is always looking for ways to protect or enhance habitats, helping wildlife, fish, and people. And administrators work with other state and federal agencies in reviewing permits for projects that impact habitats. Helping wildlife populations is also the goal of our non-game program. It oversees hundreds of programs, from studying whooping crane populations to protecting threatened species like the majestic bald eagle, and trying to find ways to help Florida's wading bird populations, which are in danger because of habitat destruction. A coordinated effort between the Commission and volunteers is trying to reverse that trend.
The Commission has several volunteer opportunities for citizens to get involved in. Wading Bird Protection Network is one of those, and it gives us, the citizens, an opportunity to get out there and work with the environment and see wildlife up close and provide us information that we vitally need.
That kind of effort also goes toward teaching children about Florida's outdoors. The GFC's Project Wild works with educators to help kids learn about the state's species and habitats.
Project Wild provides teachers with the hands-on activities and resources to teach their students about wildlife and the importance of habitat. And this way the students can be moved from awareness to responsible actions and make a difference in Florida.
Project Wild has helped 24,000 teachers teach their kids to become wildlife stewards themselves. It's just one of the programs offered by our Office of Informational Services. We distribute hundreds of brochures and posters to the public every year, and even publish a magazine, Florida Wildlife. We also produce dozens of public service announcements for the radio. And our video projects help the public understand what the GFC is trying to accomplish and how they can help. From the water to the skies, the GFC is working every day of every year to conserve Florida's outdoors. Whether it's our Division of Administrative Services buying land to conserve for future generations, or keeping track of GFC funding, 2/3 of which comes from license sales, federal grants, trust funds, and donations, or our Executive Director's Office working with legislators toward common goals. The GFC is a team dedicated to helping the citizens of Florida.
I've been on the commission a very short time, not quite a year, but during that time I've seen the employees working as a family unit. I've seen the commissioners working very closely together, cooperating with each other for the benefit of the citizens of the state.
We still have in Florida a great variety of fish and wildlife that other states have already lost. We've still got Florida panthers and black bears and bald eagles. We have an absolute abundance of white-tailed deer and wild turkeys and waterfowl and alligators. The extent to which we can maintain these resources into the future will depend an awful lot on the choices we make today and tomorrow.
From working with private landowners, finding cooperative ways to protect and enhance habitats, to reaching out to the public with our new Watchable Wildlife program, the GFC continues to lead the way in wildlife and fish management. 14 million people now call Florida home. Another 40 million visit the state annually, all taking advantage of Florida's magnificent outdoors while contributing $6 billion to the state's economy every year. The GFC is committed to serving those citizens. Our agency has an enormous responsibility, and we are proud to face it with dedication and determination. We are the GFC.